At my 40th, my brother and sister gave me a gift. A slideshow of the worst, most unflattering photos they could find, followed by skits mocking me as embarrassing and pathetic. All in front of 39 guests. My parents laughed the loudest. I said nothing. I just slipped them a note. They read it, and completely lost it. I turned 40. A nice, solid number. Round, respectable, almost a milestone if you look at it from the outside. And if you'd asked me 10 years ago what I thought my 40th birthday would look like, I probably would have said something cliché: warm evening, string lights, a little wine, my daughter in bows, husband in a jacket, laughter, friends, presents. You know, something from a commercial. Instead, I got a performance. Not as the star. Not even as an audience member. I was the punchline. We celebrated at a restaurant. Fancy place. Private room, candles, white tablecloths, waiters in uniforms. My husband, Daniel, insisted it be more than just dinner with family. He wanted me to feel special. His words: "You deserve something memorable." Sweet, right? He just underestimated my family. Their definition of deserve is different. At first, everything seemed normal. People showed up, handed me gift bags with sparkly ribbons, said nice things. I did the awkward smile and nod while juggling a drink and an oversized bouquet. I've never loved being the center of attention, especially around people who've spent their lives looking at me like I'm a particularly tricky math problem. But I endured. I'm good at that. I've had decades of practice, started around age 4, I think. Halfway through the night, when the wine was flowing and the entrees had just landed, my sister Sabrina grabbed the mic. Of course she did. She always grabs the mic, whether it exists or not. Her voice can carry to the kitchen staff and the janitor out back. This time, though, she had tech support. "And now," she said with a grin, "it's time for the gift from me and our brother. Hope you love it, April. We worked really hard on it. Just like you used to try so hard growing up, remember?" Laughter. I smiled, nodded, set my glass down. Daniel glanced at me. Something in him knew. A projector screen dropped from the ceiling. Lights dimmed. Spotlight me. But not me now, me on screen. It started out sweet. Baby photos. Me in pajamas. Holding a doll. First day of school. Someone let out an ah. I relaxed a little. And then it started. Slide 1. Me at 7, hair a mess, face smeared with chocolate. Caption: "Our little fashionista, ready for the red carpet." Laughter. Soft. Harmless. I mean, all kids get messy. Families keep embarrassing photos. Slide 2. I'm standing at a school assembly with my eyes closed. Caption: "She could nap anywhere. Even upright." More laughter. Then came the teenage shot. I'm in a swimsuit, hunched shoulders, stomach pushed out. Caption: "Miss Awkward 1997. And there it was, that hot flush of shame. That photo wasn't meant to be shared. And the edits? Photoshop made it worse. The lighting, the contrast, they exaggerated everything. And funny enough, only my photos made the cut. Not a single one of them. Next up, me at a friend's birthday, maybe 10 years old. All the girls wore dresses. I wore a stretched-out sweater with elbow holes and a suspicious stain. Caption: "Fashion Critic of the Year." Brother's voice chimed in from off-screen. She always knew how to ruin a photo. More laughter. I remembered that day. It was the only clean thing I had. Mom told me, "You're not dressing like a doll. You're already too big." Then school play. All the kids in cute animal costumes. Bunnies, foxes, a tiny crown here and there. Me. I was in a gray sweatshirt with glued-on ears. Caption: "Rat of the Year." Hilarious, if you forgot that we never bought a costume and Mom said, "Nothing will fit you anyway. Sit in the back." And I did. I didn't even want to be in the picture. But of course they made sure I was. The laughs got thinner. A little hesitant now. Or maybe I imagined it. Daniel wasn't laughing. And my daughter just stared, eyes wide. Then came the video clips. Old home footage. I'm eating dinner. They added exaggerated chewing sounds. I know for a fact I wasn't chomping like that. But hey, anything for the edit. Next, me dancing in my room, oversized t-shirt, socks, hair a mess. Caption: "Her first and last audition for Broadway." Sabrina's voice again. She was always theatrical. Almost like she knew one day we'd show the world. More laughter. Some clapping. Then the skit started. Yep. They had actual sketches planned. My niece came out first. Wore a wig, a giant bow, and clothes stuffed with pillows to make her look, well, let's just say rounded. She played a caricature of me. "I'm wearing this," she announced, twirling. My sister, playing mom, snapped, "You can't go out like that. Your legs look like loaves of bread." "I don't care. I want everyone to see how pretty I am. Laugh track. Eye rolls. Nods of approval. The message was loud and clear. We tried to help her, she wouldn't listen, and look how ridiculous she turned out. Second sketch, a fake cafe. My nephew, playing me, sat at a table with a stuffed stomach, wig, and fake burger. Brother played dad. Use a fork and knife. People are staring. The nephew fumbled, tried to cut the burger. It slid off the plate. He grabbed it with both hands, shoved it in his mouth, smeared ketchup everywhere. Brother sighed. April, for the love of God, slow down. No one's taking your food. More laughter. Maybe not from everyone. I wasn't watching the crowd anymore. I was watching my parents. They were howling. Mom had tears from laughing so hard. I sat there. My daughter reached under the table and held my hand. Mom, she whispered. Did they really say those things to you? Did you really eat like that? I squeezed her hand a little tighter. This wasn't humor. This wasn't love disguised as teasing. This was a greatest hits compilation of shame. Same script I'd known since I was a kid. Make April the punchline. Remind her she's not enough. Too much. Never quite right. But now they had props. And an audience. Sabrina closed it out with a smile. We exaggerated, of course. But you know what they say, every joke has a little truth. Right? It's all love. Applause. A few polite chuckles. I sat there thinking, this is it. The last straw. No more pretending. I stood. Lifted my glass. Thanks to everyone who came. Thanks for laughing. It really clarified a few things for me. Now I know where I stand with this family. A few nervous laughs. Some silence. Then I walked over to their table, Mom, Dad, my siblings. I placed a small folded note in front of them. What's this? Sabrina asked. Read it at home, I said. Alone. In silence. I turned and walked back to Daniel and my daughter. Daniel's hand found mine. I took a sip of wine. Perfect evening, just like they wanted. The next morning, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Too late. The morning after was surprisingly quiet. Even the birds outside seemed to know better than to get involved. My phone was blinking, 12 missed calls. Mom. Dad. Sabrina. Anthony. Sabrina even left a voice message over 2.5 minutes long. Impressive, really. I didn't know her lungs could hold that much air. I didn't listen. I just got up, made some coffee, sat on the windowsill, and scrolled through the photos. It's a weird thing, looking at yourself from the outside. Especially when everything in the frame is designed to make you look ridiculous. Awkward. Laughable. The birthday pictures were carefully curated. Everyone else in the background looked polished, joyful, relaxed. And then there was me. Center stage. The punchline. I stopped on one photo. My daughter. Audrey's gripping my hand like she's afraid I'll disappear. Her face frozen. Not sad. Not scared. Just like someone turned off the lights inside her. And that's when it hit me. She saw it. She felt it. She went through it with me. I'm not letting her grow up like this. I finished my coffee and walked into her room. She was already awake, lying there, face buried in her pillow. I sat down beside her. Mom, she said without looking up. Did they used to say that stuff to you? That you embarrassed them? I wanted to lie. Say, no, not really. Or at least, sometimes, but they didn't mean it. But I just looked at her. And said nothing. Because the real answer would have taken longer than she was ready for. More often than I love you. Way more often. It started early. Really early. Back when you still believe that trying your best means someone will notice. Will appreciate it. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Funny thing, Sabrina and Anthony grew up in the same house. But somehow they got the deluxe version. They got the applause. I got the notes. I was 6. We were heading to a friend's place. I wore a new dress, one button was a little off at the collar, nothing dramatic. Mom glanced at me and said, You look like a mess. I'm always embarrassed by you. Sabrina? In ripped jeans? She has style, Mom would say later. Or the time I laughed in class, genuinely laughed. I was a kid. That's what kids do. Mom turned and snapped. Do you even hear yourself? Girls should laugh gracefully. Sabrina? Laughing so hard she wheezed. Oh, her laugh is just infectious. Family photo day. Everyone smile, the photographer said. I smiled, big open reel. Dad looked at me and grimaced. Great. You ruined the whole picture. Later, the photo was labeled in the family album. April trying again. With a smiley face. So cute. And don't even get me started on food. Everyone else had ice cream. I got a salad. Dry. No dressing. Because, and I quote, at your age you should start watching your figure. I was 13. All I wanted was a scoop of vanilla. What I got instead was, have you seen yourself in a mirror? One day, my English teacher praised an essay I wrote. I came home glowing. Mom barely looked up and said, well, finally something. Maybe now you'll stop slouching and stuffing your face all the time. Thanks, Mom. I never forgot. Anthony? Spilled his milk. Mom. It's okay, sweetie. Me. Dropped a fork. Mom. How many times, April? Learn to act like a normal person. And it wasn't once or twice. It was a system. A consistent, almost ritualistic campaign. Like they got a kick out of correcting me, comparing me, putting me in my place. Stand up straight. Suck in your stomach. Girls should be tidy. What are you wearing? That doesn't suit you. You should hide those thick legs under a maxi skirt. That hair? You look ridiculous. Maybe some makeup would help. A little something to save the face. When I first brought Daniel, my now husband, home, Mom's first comment was, fix your posture. We have company. Then later, in private, she whispered, never thought a girl with your looks would land someone like him. Sabrina, divorced and on the market at 33, spent the whole night throwing flirtatious looks at Daniel and at one point, in front of him, said, wow, April. He's a catch. How'd you convince him? With those assets. I was about to excuse myself to go cry in the bathroom, maybe blot my cheeks with foundation, when Daniel calmly looked at her and said, Sabrina, wrong question. It's not how she convinced me. It's how lucky I am that someone this smart and beautiful said yes to me. Sabrina blinked. Mom gave a fake little laugh. And me? I think for the first time in years, I stood a little straighter, on my own. I moved out at 18 for college. It was the first place where I wasn't seen as a burden. And yeah, I thrived. Job. Friends. Love. Then I came back. Because Mom got sick. Then Dad lost his job. Then he got sick too. So I helped. Paid for repairs. Meds. Covered their retirement shortfall. Deposited money into their accounts every month. Nobody ever asked if I wanted to. Technically, part of their house is mine. I co-signed when they refinanced. They wouldn't have gotten approved without my income. Back then, it felt like the right thing to do. Now it just feels stupid. I gave Sabrina $8,000 for her son's college fund. Still waiting on that repayment. I helped Anthony pay off his credit card, $3,000. He said, we're family, and never brought it up again. When their kids were little, I babysat. A lot. For free. Weekends included. Because you're not that busy, right? I was free, all right. Free of rights. Of respect. Of gratitude. And through it all, I kept trying. To fit. To please. To earn love. And then they laughed at me. In front of everyone. Now I sit here holding my phone. My hands are shaking. Not from tears. From something sharper. Anger, finally given permission. I open Mom's chat. Mom. What a word. 3 dots. Block contact. Then Sabrina. Then Anthony. Then Dad. One by one. No drama. Just silence. Rare. Fragile. Like glass. This isn't rage. This is the silence you've earned. I'm not playing family anymore. And you know what? For the first time in a long time, I feel alive. The morning was weirdly quiet. Even the cat didn't meow. Maybe she just had the good sense to stay out of the blast zone. My phone was blinking, 12 missed calls. 5 from my mom, 3 from Sabrina, 2 from Anthony, and 2 from unknown numbers. Probably Mom again, calling from someone else's phone. Classic move. In her world, if I didn't pick up, it wasn't because I didn't want to talk, it was because I hadn't heard her. I made coffee. No milk. No sugar. Just strong, black, and bitter. Kind of like my relationship with my family. I sat at the kitchen table and opened my laptop. 3 tabs. Online banking, mortgage paperwork, and a folder labeled for emergencies or therapy. A collection of every financial transaction I'd ever made on behalf of my family. First stop, the parental pension. Since 2019, I've been sending my parents $400 a month. Because Dad didn't earn enough credit, and Mom had earned her rest. Cool. Rest on your own dime now. Click. Autopay canceled. Next up, meds. I'd added my mom to my health plan, so she could get her prescriptions at a discount. Not anymore. Let her explain to the insurance company why her adult daughter just resigned from the family. Click number 2. Utilities. I didn't cover them entirely, but whenever they were short, which was pretty often, guess who got the panicked call? I'm 40. They have 2 other children. Somehow, I was still the designated backup wallet. Click 3. Funds frozen. Now we get personal. I opened my thread with Sabrina. Her last message? A dancing rat gif with the caption, "Happy B-Day, sis." I hadn't responded then. But now I typed out a message, short, formal, no frills. Sabrina, reminder. The $8,000 I gave you in 2020 for Josh's college fund was a loan. You promised to repay it within 2 years. It's been over 4. Please return the amount by the end of this month. Otherwise, I'll take it to small claims court. I'd prefer not to go there. No smiley face. No sorry to bring this up. Just math. Then Anthony. Mom's golden boy. Always with a bat in one hand and zero accountability in the other. In 2021, he needed $4,000 to fix the garage roof, or his tools would get ruined. Promised to pay it back by New Year's. It's 2025. The roof's fine. My money. Not so much. Anthony, following up, $4,000 loaned for garage repairs in 2021. Please repay or send a payment plan. If I don't hear from you in 2 weeks, I'll move forward legally. No hugs, which he always used to send ironically. Then came a call. Not from them, from my lawyer. Melanie Watson. She has one of those calm newscaster voices, the kind that could say impending disaster, and still sound like everything's under control. Ms. Greenwood, I've reviewed the documents. I think we should meet. You have options. I was in her office that afternoon. Bright space. No small talk. Perfect atmosphere for planning a siege. You're on solid ground legally, she said. Here's the $60,000 transfer from your inheritance into their account. And here's the refinancing agreement. You're listed as co-borrower. Based on that, you're entitled to at least 25% of the home value. Possibly more, depending on how we argue it. Can I get the money back? Yes. Or file a petition action. That would force the sale of the home and allocate your share. I nodded slowly. Took a breath. I want to start the process. Just know it won't be pleasant. Neither was 40 years of being their emotional dartboard. She smiled. A small one. The I get it kind. Later that evening I told Daniel. Are you sure? He asked. This'll be a full-scale war. I'm sure. This isn't revenge. It's math. I finally understand what I'm worth. And I'm done paying for their comedy sketches. He didn't say anything. Just held me. I leaned into him, and for the first time in 2 days, felt like I was steering my own life again. Later, I remembered the note I'd left on the table at the party. A little folded piece of paper, dropped in front of them after my toast. I'd told them, read it at home. Alone. It said, all expenses you assumed were my obligation, effective immediately, they're yours. All debts you thought were forgotten, effective immediately, they're active. All ties you believed were unbreakable, effective immediately, they're cut. Welcome to reality. April. The one who ruins everything. And now they're calling. I don't answer. I sit by the window sipping wine, watching my daughter jump rope outside with her friends. She's smiling. And I smile too, because I know she won't grow up thinking she needs to be fixed. For 40 years, I played the background character in their story. Not anymore. This is my show now. And I've just stepped on stage. They called all day. First my mom. Then my dad. Then Sabrina. Then Anthony. Then Mom again. At some point, I just switched my phone to airplane mode. Notifications kept pinging like hail on a tin roof. Funny, isn't it? They hadn't listened to me in 40 years. Now they couldn't stop calling. Texts poured in like confetti at a guilt parade. What's wrong with you? If you're upset about that little sketch, it was just a joke. We love you. You can't just abandon your family. This isn't how you treat people who care about you. Oh, and how do you treat them? By making a public slideshow of their worst photos? By mocking them in front of their child, their husband, their guests? Sure. Classic family love. Then my parents got the letter from my lawyer. Polite but firm. Straightforward. I am legally a co-owner of the house. The $60,000 I contributed during their mortgage refinance? Properly documented. Which means either they pay it back, or we initiate a sale. It's not personal. It's financial. After that, the tone changed. Panic, then hysteria. Mom, in all caps. You're leaving US to rot in old age? Dad's message was shorter. Is this all your husband's doing? Oh yes, Daniel masterminded the whole thing. 12 years of marriage just to manipulate me into filing legal action after they aired a video of me chewing like a hippo. Genius-level planning. Then Anthony called. Daniel, can you talk to her? She's always been, a little off. Maybe she needs help. Daniel laughed. Not maliciously, just with that quiet, tired clarity that comes when you've watched someone try to carry their family's emotional trash for too long. She doesn't need help, he said. She needs peace. And then my mom switched tactics. She called my daughter. Audrey, sweetheart, Grandma misses you. Grandpa does too. But your mommy, she doesn't love us anymore. But you do, right? Thankfully, my daughter isn't easily manipulated. She silently handed me the phone. I said, Mom, if you ever try to emotionally blackmail my child again, I'll file a formal complaint. As a mother, you raised one daughter on guilt. There won't be a second. Click. On day 3, Sabrina texted me. That $8,000 was a gift. You offered. It wasn't a loan. 30 minutes later, she got an official notice of intent to sue. Courteous tone. Dates, conditions, contact details of my lawyer. The next day, she sent me $3,000. With a note. I don't want this to become ugly. I hope this is enough. It's not about ugly. I'm not fighting. I'm settling accounts. Anthony got the same letter. He owes me $4,000 from that temporary emergency when his wife lost her job and the garage roof needed fixing. I helped. No questions asked. Now I want my money. Loan repayment from 2018. If I don't hear from him in a week, we proceed legally. Then came the visit. I didn't want to let them in. But I did. Mom and Dad, looking a decade older than I remembered. But their eyes held no remorse, just irritation. Like I'd ruined their weekend plans. We came to talk, Mom said. Like adults. Though I doubt you're capable of that. Fine, I said. But only if this isn't another lecture about how I'm the problem. If you're here to listen, I'll speak. They nodded. And then Dad cut me off before I could say a word. We raised you. Fed you. Did everything for you. And now this. Over a silly party bit. It wasn't a bit, I said. It was public humiliation. In front of my husband. My daughter. A room full of people. You're being dramatic, Mom scoffed. You always are. It was just a joke. Everyone laughed. Who's everyone? You. Your golden children? I spent my whole life trying to be good enough for you. And still, I was the punchline. You thought it was fine to mock me, on my birthday no less. It was humor. Lighten up, Mom said. Then why not make fun of Sabrina? Or Anthony? Why were the fat jokes about me? Why was I the only one told to learn to take a joke? Because you've always been different, Dad said. Overly sensitive. Insecure. It's good for you to laugh at yourself. Honestly, we're surprised you even got married. With your, you know. That's not the point, Mom cut in. You're setting a bad example for Audrey. She'll grow up and turn on you too. She didn't grow up with you. She sees clearly. She won't. You always twisted everything, Mom snapped. We sacrificed so much for you. And now you want to steal our house. I want what's mine. Legally. You'd do the same. You just got too used to taking without giving. You're selfish. Ungrateful. Always have been, Mom hissed. I looked at them and didn't feel pain. Just exhaustion. There they were. Mask off. Same people. Same lines. Still calling it love. Thanks for coming, I said. But you're not here to understand. You're here to reel me back into being manageable. That's not going to happen. We're not family. We're just people who share some DNA and a long list of disappointments. How can you say that? After all we've done for you. I'm done with your terms. Your power games. Your disrespect. Then don't be surprised if there are consequences, Dad said coldly. You want to go to court, we'll go. You'll regret this. They left without saying goodbye. And I knew, without a doubt, I'd made the right call. What followed was predictable. Threats, anonymous messages, even a bogus call to CPS. The visit found nothing wrong. Just one last jab. Then a year passed. The house was sold. I didn't get the full $60,000, some went toward their debt, but my lawyer made sure I got what mattered. They now live in a small rented apartment. No view, but livable. Sabrina repaid the full amount, late, and through her attorney, with a note. Sad it had to end like this. I haven't heard from her since. Anthony vanished. Still bitter, probably. He ended up selling off some tools to pay me back. Or maybe his wife did. Doesn't matter. Daniel, Audrey and I went on vacation. No announcements. No phone calls. Just the three of us, free. At one point, Audrey asked, Mom, are you sad that Grandma and Grandpa don't love you anymore? I smiled. I'm sad I ever believed they did. I looked out at the horizon and thought, 40 is when you finally realize that boundaries aren't rude, they're survival. I have a family now. Not the one that raised me. The one I chose. And for the first time in my life, I feel like myself. I know some of you are probably thinking, Wasn't that a bit much? Maybe. Or maybe I spent too many years being way too little. Tell me what you would have done. Was I right to finally draw the line? Or should I have kept quiet, again? If this story hit you in the gut, hit that subscribe button. And drop a comment below. Let me know I'm not the only one.